There's a certain kind of mystery movie that doesn't live in dark alleyways or rain-soaked streets. It lives in sunlight, in music, in places where people know each other, and that familiarity makes everything more complicated. Because when everyone knows your name, secrets don't stay buried for long. In 1989, one of those mysteries arrived in theaters, The Mighty Quinn. It starred a rising leading man named Denzel Washington. And while it's often overshadowed by his legendary films that would follow, The Mighty Quinn quietly proved that Washington didn't need explosions, courtroom speeches, or a badge with a famous partner to carry a film. He just needed presence. By the time The Mighty Quinn hit theaters, Denzel Washington was on the verge of becoming one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. He'd already built a strong resume, and in that same year he would star in Glory, which earned him his first Academy Award. But this film was different. No war, no historical figure, no sweeping speeches, just one man trying to solve a murder in a place he calls home. Washington plays Xavier Quinn, the police chief of a small Caribbean island. Quinn isn't a burned-out detective or a reckless renegade. He's respected, he's calm, intelligent, and he walks through town and people greet him, not because they have to, but because they want to. He belongs there, which is exactly why the case hits so hard. A wealthy and widely disliked businessman is found murdered, and very quickly suspicion falls on a man named Malby, who happens to be Quinn's friend, his childhood friend. The kind of friend who knows exactly where you came from. Malby is played by Robert Townsend, and he is easily one of the most fascinating characters in the film. Malby doesn't move like other people. He drifts in and out of scenes, he smiles when others panic, and he seems amused by situations that would terrify anyone else. And he may be guilty of murder, or he may just be smarter than everyone chasing him. Townsend gives Malby a playful unpredictability. He's funny but never a joke, charming but never fully trustworthy. He keeps Quinn and the audience constantly guessing. Their relationship becomes the emotional backbone of the film. This isn't just a cop hunting a suspect, it's a man trying to reconcile his duty with his history. The world around Quinn feels authentic thanks to a strong supporting cast. Cheryl Lee Ralph plays Lola, Quinn's wife, grounding the story emotionally. Their relationship feels lived in, affectionate, but strained. She understands the pressure he's under, even when she can't protect him from it. James Fox plays Thomas Elgin, a smooth and calculating businessman whose polite demeanor hides deeper motives. Fox specializes in characters who seem civilized on the surface but leave you feeling uneasy, and he uses that skill perfectly here. And then there's the always fantastic M. Emmett Walsh as Fred Miller, an American investigator sent to oversee the case. Walsh brings his signature rumpled suspicion like a man who trusts absolutely no one, nor can be trusted. He makes it clear that Quinn's personal connections are now a liability. The film was directed by Carl Schenkel, a Swiss filmmaker who wisely avoided turning the story into a conventional action thriller. Instead, he lets the island breathe. The camera captures marketplaces, beaches, narrow streets, and everyday conversations. People laugh, music plays, life continues, even as Quinn searches for a killer. And Quinn can't separate himself from the investigation because the investigation is happening in his community, among his neighbors, and among his friends. Music plays a huge role in defining the film's personality. The soundtrack is filled with reggae and Caribbean rhythms that give the story its pulse. And of course, the title itself comes from a famous song written by Bob Dylan. The song's spirit, mysterious, playful, larger than life, fits the story perfectly. There's even a sense that Quinn himself has become something of a legend on the island. People respect and rely on him. But legends don't have the luxury of personal feelings, and that's the real tragedy Quinn faces. Interestingly, The Mighty Quinn almost existed nearly 2 decades earlier. In the early 1970s, there was an attempt to adapt Finding Malby, a novel by A.H.Z. Carr, with Louis Gossett Jr. in the lead role and Sammy Davis Jr. attached to co-star. It would have been a completely different film, arriving in a very different Hollywood at a time when major studio roles for black leading actors were far more limited. Sadly, that version never made it to production. But the fact that the project lingered for years speaks to the strength of the story, and how it took for the right moment and the right star to bring it to life. And the timing couldn't have been better. What makes Washington's performance so compelling is how restrained it is. He doesn't overplay Quinn's conflict. He lets it simmer. You can see it in the pauses, the glances, the quiet moments where he realizes every answer he finds will come with consequences. He doesn't act like a movie cop. He acts like a real person doing an incredibly difficult job. There are no slow-motion hero shots, no dramatic speeches about justice, just a man trying to do the right thing, even when it hurts. It's also refreshing to see him play someone who is fully respected from the beginning. He isn't fighting for credibility, he already has it, which makes losing it, even temporarily, feel that much more dangerous. It's also worth noting that Quinn may be the calmest police chief in 80s movie history. While other movie cops were crashing cars, firing wildly, and getting suspended every other week, Quinn is out here attending festivals, talking to people, and solving crimes through actual investigation. It's almost like he's good at his job. Over time, the Mighty Quinn has become something of a hidden gem in Denzel Washington's filmography. It didn't dominate the box office, and it doesn't get mentioned as often as his later classics. But watching it now, you can see exactly why his career took off. He doesn't demand attention so much as he naturally commands it. This film captures him at the exact moment when he transitions from promising actor to undeniable leading man. Within just a few years, he would become one of the most reliable and respected stars in Hollywood. The Mighty Quinn isn't the loudest mystery ever made. It doesn't rely on spectacle, it doesn't rush. Instead, it lets its characters, its setting, and its star do the work. And that's more than enough, because when Denzel Washington walks through a scene, listening carefully, carrying the weight of responsibility without saying a word, you believe him, you trust him, and you follow him, just like everyone else on the island, because you ain't seen nothing like the Mighty Quinn. Do you remember the Mighty Quinn? Drop me a line down in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.